Not just a legendary anime, but its obscure Famicom game adaptation from the 80s. Akira started as a sci-fi manga by Katsuhiro Otomo in 1982, and while it was being serialized, Otomo cooked up a game-changing animated film version, condensing the story into a 3-year labor of love. That movie hit Japanese theaters in July 1988, and let me tell you, it blew everyone's minds. The sci-fi vibes, the visuals, the camera work, it was next-level stuff that influenced tons of anime, movies, and even video games for decades. The industry was shook, the media went wild, and Japanese animation entered a whole new era. You can spot Akira's fingerprints all over pop culture. Take Final Fantasy VII, Cloud's badass motorcycle, totally giving off vibes of Kaneda's iconic ride. Those high-speed chase scenes, straight up inspired by Akira's bike battles. Or look at the King of Fighters, the character K9999 from the early 2000s. He's basically a carbon copy of Akira's Tetsuo, down to the same voice actor Nozomu Sasaki. Problem is, SNK was in a messy phase back then, and didn't clear the rights properly, so K9999 got slapped with a plagiarism ban after just 2 KOF games. Only recently in KOF 15 did he get a spiritual successor hinting at a possible return. But let's talk about the game we're here for. 6 months after the Akira movie dropped, a company called Taito released a text-adventure game based on it for the Famicom in December 1988. Yep, a full-on Akira game on the NES's Japanese cousin. So, in this video, I'm breaking down Akira on the Famicom, its gameplay, mechanics, and design. Buckle up. First off, this game is hardcore fan service. It's a text adventure, meaning it's packed with walls of story text. If you haven't seen the Akira movie, you're going to be lost, so I'd recommend watching it first. But for you folks watching this, don't sweat it. I'm focusing on the game itself, not just the lore. Still, for those who don't know Akira, here's the quick rundown. The story's set in 2019, in a dystopian Neo-Tokyo. 31 years earlier, Tokyo got nuked in World War III, and now it's a high-tech, crime-ridden wasteland. Drugs, gambling, violence. It's a total sin city. Our main guy, Kaneda Shitaro, leads a biker gang that's all about racing and brawling. One night, his buddy Tetsuo Shima crashes his bike during a chase and gets nabbed by the military for a secret experiment. Turns out, they give him insane, destructive superpowers that start growing out of control. Kaneda, who's like a big brother to Tetsuo, tries to save him. See, they grew up together in an orphanage, and Kaneda always had Tetsuo's back when bullies came for him. Even as adults, Kaneda's the gang leader who bails Tetsuo out of fights. But all that protection made Tetsuo super insecure, and deep down, he resents Kaneda. So, when Tetsuo gets these powers and Kaneda shows up to help, Tetsuo's like, screw you! He goes full-on villain, turns on his old crew, and slaughters anyone in his way. Problem is, his powers are too much for his body to handle, and in the end, he self-destructs in a tragic, explosive meltdown. That's the surface-level plot of the Akira movie. There's deeper stuff about what it all means, or whether Tetsuo's really gone after that explosion, but I'm not some philosopher, so let's stick to the game. The Akira game takes the movie's story and trims it down even more. You'd think that'd make it a bare-bones retelling, but honestly, it captures the movie's vibe really well. The game keeps all the iconic moments your brain latches onto. Unless you're some super fan who's memorized every frame of the film, you'll feel like it's super faithful. Gameplay-wise, it's a text adventure where you play as Kaneda in first person. The story unfolds through text and images, and you push it forward by picking the right choices. Choose wrong, and you might trigger a random side plot, fail outright, or get sent back to an earlier point. Sounds like those interactive Netflix specials, right? But don't think you can just brute force it by trying every option. Some story triggers are hidden and based on small, easy-to-miss cues from the movie, making progression tough even for fans. Oh, and if you don't speak Japanese, good luck! This game's a nightmare without a translation. Take the opening. Tetsuo crashes, Kaneda's gang shows up, and the military whisks Tetsuo away. Kaneda and his crew get arrested, suspected of being rebel terrorists, and you're stuck in an interrogation room. Here's where it gets brutal. No matter what you pick, you end up in a scene where a rebel prisoner busts out, pulls a grenade, and tries to take everyone down with him. In the normal story, the grenade's a dud. It doesn't blow. The rebel gets caught, and Kaneda's crew walks free. But to make that happen, you have to trigger a hidden event during the interrogation. You need to choose to observe and check the interrogator's rebel list, and would then keep joking around until they confirm you're not a rebel. Only then does the story proceed. Miss that? Either the grenade does explode, killing Kaneda, or you get locked up as a rebel. That hidden trigger? It's a tiny detail from the movie most people gloss over. Without a guide, tons of players quit right there. And for us non-Japanese speakers, the lack of a localization is basically a go-home sign. One cool thing. Later in the game, there are 3 super short first-person shooting segments to break up the text overload. They're a nice breather, but the sound effects? Oof, they'll murder your ears. The game also has 3 endings, depending on your final choice. If you have Kaneda jump into Tetsuo's explosion, you get the movie's exact ending, full fidelity. For context, let me explain Akira. In the story, Akira was a child test subject with overwhelming psychic power. So powerful that scientists dissected his body and preserved his organs to study him, fearing the danger he posed to humanity. Even then, those organs could vibe with other test subjects. Akira became the military's code for any unstable, crazy powerful ability. Back to the endings. If you choose to have Kaneda flee or attack Tetsuo during the explosion, things get wild. Flee, and Kaneda survives. Attack, and he gets caught in the blast, dying while lost in childhood memories. Both paths lead to the same outcome. Neo Tokyo is wiped out, and Tetsuo meets Akira in the ruins, saying, "I finally found you." The game ends with text about Neo Tokyo's destruction, the rise of a great Tokyo empire, and long live Emperor Akira. Given Tetsuo's reckless arrogance, it seems inevitable that he was overwhelmed, and ultimately destroyed by Akira's power. That's the Akira Famicom game. It's not a standout on the Famicom. Honestly, it's so niche, it's practically frozen in the Ice Age. But when I found out there was an Akira game on the NES, I was floored. That shock alone makes it worth sharing. It's the kind of retro charm that hits hard for nostalgia nerds like me. Oh, and there were other Akira games. The Amiga CD32 and PS2 got their own versions, and there were cancelled projects for the Sega Genesis, Game Boy, and Famicom. Why'd they flop? A dev named Jimmy Gregory, who worked on a Super Famicom Akira project, said the big issue was pleasing the license holders. They didn't get how tough it was to make a game look as slick as the movie on limited hardware. They just wanted perfection. Nowadays, graphics and sound aren't the problem, so why no killer Akira game in 2025? My take? Akira's best bits, its visuals, its vibes, have been gobbled up by other games. Even if a dope Akira game came out now, it couldn't match the movie's earth-shattering debut. For someone like Otomo, who's all about dropping masterpieces, that's probably not good enough. Before I wrap up, if you haven't seen the Akira movie, go watch it. It's not just a classic, it kicked off a whole era of anime. And no, it's not a masterpiece because of some cryptic deep meaning or predicting the Tokyo Olympics. It's the jaw-dropping visuals that make it immortal. Trust me, every anime and gaming fan needs to experience it. That's it for today's vid. If you want more retro game stories, smash that subscribe button. Catch you in the next one.